This is stuff that is false, it is not useful information, it's not helping anybody make a good decision.
I'm gonna see if I can catch a little bit of the sunrise today. Oh wow. There are 580 people who specified industry. The case study sessions from yesterday, I noticed were quite full. Like they were pretty packed actually. So there's quite a bit of interest from the community.
Trying to get the color on the circle to match the color on the outside, but you don't know how. There's various ways by turning your phone, flipping your phone, tapping your phone, whatever else. And so the two of you have to work together by holding up your phone, and the other person watches and tells you when it matches. When the colors match.
Oh, I see.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Matt, all right, and then?
Okay, cool.
So for instance, if the user starts a conversation, his anxiety level raises, and then the conversation starts getting worse, and the perception of the user of the environment completely changes. You need to keep a balance between your anxiety level and your understanding of the other students in order to collect all the items.
So we made a game called Spud, the super productive utility dude. And he brings together everything that people love, robots and potatoes. Woo! Laptop down there, you can see that you're all working together to try to control this robot.
Game.
You have to mirror someone else's face, and you will get a percentage of how closely you match them. So that's the game. These are people from Kai doing it.
So you have to work together to find the golden pineapple and avoid these dangerous points in the spacey. It's a ton of fun. Please play. I know you don't have a ton of time, but you should totally play because it's awesome.
Orchestra, representing different instruments. And at the end, all of your lovely voices are combined together to make a beautiful sound of song and symphony.
One thing I've been trying to do here at the conference is find people with the practitioner badge and see whether or not, just trying to find out, well, how do they get into Kai. I'm here with Richard from Siemens. And he's another practitioner, who's joining Kai, and we really appreciate having you here.
I'm a user experience designer at Siemens, and in order to get here last year was my first Kai, I assembled a lot of reasons why I thought it would be beneficial to attend as an industry participant. And I basically said that, okay, there's a lot of emerging tech that we stand to benefit from that we're not going to be aware of, in at least in early stages.
You never know what's going to be relevant.
Unknown connections, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thank you so much, Richard. I really appreciate it. That was a really interesting forum about just online harassment and what can be really done about it. And it just talks about the magnitude of the problem. And I'm glad that we're talking about that in the HCI community, because I feel that it really is an HCI problem. We're finding that the automated methods, there's just simply not enough, to really protect people, and we need more moderation. So there were a couple people from Reddit, or who are mods for Reddit, and they talked a lot about how, basically having an army of moderators is essentially what they use, that are all volunteers to help reduce the amount of kind of inappropriate content. So it's very much driven through the community.
You work really hard. If you don't worry about the negative voice that can sometimes exist in your head and can stop you from doing so many different things, it led to singing the national anthem at our Super Bowl here in Canada, the Grey Cup, and then I've run out of sync again here. I'm not sure what's happening here. And then also being written up in the New Yorker, feature article. Guess what's about to happen now? You're gonna sing. Woo! She says we gotta hold on to what we got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Whoa, we're halfway there. Take it! most important is, I see that people start to feel different about themselves. How they feel about themselves starts to change. And I realize why that happens is because they're allowing themselves to do something that maybe they were scared to do.
Get the hands up, come on! This is the gross part. Touching more, reaching out, touching me, touching you. 1, 2, 3, you know. Sweet Caroline, you know. Good times never seem so good. So good, so good. I've been inclined, you know, to believe they never would.
Worked with children for a while. We had a program called Choir Minor, CCC Minor, for kids. And I think that from a young age, people are somehow just, I don't know, socialization of different things. Like science for me was not something that was accessible to me. And in some ways, I felt I had to choose between the two, when really my interests are in both.
Yeah, I like that. I like that camera. Nice.
Yeah, it's like I have my own little robot, my own little telepresence robot as well.
Oh, really? Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see each other's stuff. Anyways, I gotta run. I'll see you later. It was a really interesting session that I was just in about the future of making and talking about new materials, talking about how we can remix old models and then combine them with new models. I mean, that's one of the big challenges with virtual reality and augmented reality is creating 3D models is really hard. So the more that we can reuse those models, the better. So I'm here with Samya, and Samya was an intern with me, and now you're a prof at OCAD.
Yeah. Ontario College of Art and Design, which is in Toronto downtown.
Awesome.
Very close to U of T campus.
So cool. So many creative people, Samya has always been one of the more creative people that I've known. I love your ideas and working with you. So
thanks.
Thank you. Well, thanks again. Ed. It was great meeting you.
Yeah, it's very nice meeting you.
For the last 4 years, we've been running workshops to think about how urban technologies like payphones can help reinforce local identity. But now we're going one step further. Now we're going to create these videos to help spark public conversations to really think about what alternative futures of development look like, particularly when they're tied to local culture.
Hey, so I'm here with Carl and Ben, who are some of the authors of the Sankofa City video that won this award.
By marrying speculative design and emerging technologies with these community desires and community interests, we can sort of move beyond and empower them with these new technologies to further deepen their culture.
And I'm a filmmaker. I've been in it since 1971 as a filmmaker.
Is that right?
And so the whole idea of using this as a new tool for expressions and telling stories has been fun for me.
I'm here with the crew from UW.
Hi. I don't know what we're doing. It's not a photo? No.
It's not a photo. Okay, now we're close enough.
It was great to meet you and great to get to hang out and talk, and it was
fun.
Dumplings, everything.
Yeah,
so
dumplings
good.
Greg is an you were instructionist technologist for almost 10 years.
That's right.
And now you're an assistant prof?
I'm about to be an associate professor as of August 15th.
Hey, congratulations.
Thanks, yeah.
That's awesome. And so as a result, Greg has a really strong passion for education. He's starting a LinkedIn kind of video channel, and you're going to be talking a little bit about education and technology as well.
Yeah, about design, education, and technology, and how we can work it all together. It's an important part of design, it's an important part of interaction, and it's something that I want to make sure we keep working on.
Cool. Well, thanks. It was great having lunch with you.
Yeah,
really
thanks a lot.
She spent 7 years as executive director of the Wikimedia Foundation. She was co-chair of the campaign to persuade President Obama to pardon NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden. And of course, she's a very proud recipient of the NIACAP Medal of Internet Awesomeness for defending internet freedom. So welcome to the stage, Sue Gardner. It looks like Mark Zuckerberg flying to Washington, testifying in Congress.
first employees at Facebook, and I think he was the first person to do analytics for Facebook. And I remember in sometime like 2007 or 2008, I had moved to Silicon Valley in 2007 to run the Wikimedia Foundation, which is the nonprofit that operates Wikipedia, if you don't know that. When social media became the primary distribution mechanism for news, what that opened up was a new business opportunity. And probably most of us, many of us in the room, know the story of the Macedonian teenagers, right? These were these kids in Macedonia who started up news sites. And their purpose was really just to make money, because if you got enough social sharing, you could put ads against it, you could make a profitable business. I think if I remember correctly, the kids were making something like, I don't know, a couple $100,000 a year or something. So you could actually, make a living wage doing this. The emotion that most predictably and consistently drives social sharing turns out to be anger. And the most efficient way to routinize the production of anger to encourage social sharing is by making hyper-partisan news. So you make political material that is highly partisan, designed to provoke anger or outrage or some surge of strong emotion. People share it on the internet, they share it on social media, and you can make money doing that. And they were the most popular news source on Twitter during the campaign. And I'll say it again, I'll kind of underline. This is stuff that is false, it is not useful information, it's not helping anybody make a good decision. There were half as many working journalists in the United States as there had been 15 years earlier. And so what that means is you had a news media which was half the resource, half the energy, half the strength of what it normally had been in recent American history. He said, the recommendations algorithm at YouTube is designed to optimize watch time. There is no reason that it would show content that is good for kids. If it does show content that's good for kids, that's just a coincidence. Again, this is Ed Williams, who was co-founder of Twitter and who now runs Medium. And Ed said this to the New York Times. He said, the trouble with the internet is that the internet rewards extremes. So say that you're driving down the road and you see a car crash. Of course you look, everybody looks at a car crash. The internet interprets that to mean that people want car crashes, and so it tries to give us more of them. How that plays out in practice is that they will show you more and more extreme content. And what Zeynep says is, if you're watching a video about vegetarianism, it will start feeding you videos about veganism. If you're watching a video about a conservative politician, it will start showing you white supremacist videos, right? And so the logic of that is not intended to be detrimental to society. It's just intended to show you stuff that you might want to watch, right? But in practice, the effect that that has is it pulls us into these rabbit holes of more and more and more and more extreme content, and makes us, I think, feel like that is normal, like it is normal to become worse. I personally think that user pay is the only answer that will get us out of this. If we can, as a culture, start getting used to paying for the stuff that we want to use, then it will be made for us and designed for us, and it will meet our needs. It just lines up the incentives. I cannot go to the grocery store and buy something labeled food that's going to kill me, right? I cannot buy a car that's going to explode. You're just not allowed by your society. You're protected from making really bad consumer choices. They're just not on the table for you. And that's how I feel about the internet, right? That you need a base level of regulation so you can't, get yourself into terrible problems.
I'm here with Sue. Again, really awesome keynote. Very, very relevant, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you so much.
I hung out with and met a bunch of really, people in their 20s, I guess, in their early 20s, and they had what to me was a very surprisingly low level of understanding of how the internet works and who owns it and who makes stuff. I was surprised by that, because that wouldn't surprise me with a child, right? They don't even think of it that way. And I found that so strange, but that's because everybody I hang around with is like a practitioner, right? And so of course we all know who runs what company or whatever, but they were all they didn't even think of it as companies. They didn't know if it was the government or it was a company. They just literally had never asked themselves that question, which I found strange and alarming.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified when new videos come out, click the bell.